sharing here because time is up. Yes, we have our guest speaker with us already. Thank you so much, Sister Judy, for being there. And, and hang on, before I give it to you, I need to really introduce you again. It's been a long hiatus now that you haven't been with us, but you have been with us in the workshops. And looking at your biodata, though it's 35 years, I'll add 5 years because it's been almost more than 5 years. This biodata, I think, is a little bit old. So Sister Judy Johnson has worked as a facilitator and a coaching consultant in experiential learning. That's what we are doing here. Leadership development, excuse me, and organizational effectiveness. She holds a bachelor degree in social work and a master's in adult education. So there we are. We are all being adults and ready to get educated from her. And what I must say, she's known for her insight and her ability to go into the depth of any subject in a light and very entertaining way. I've experienced that in person, so I can really vouch for that. She has a balance of reflective, creative, and interactive activities to assist individuals and groups to use their natural wisdom and inner power. And she is the author of 5 books, and including a young adult novel which she wrote with her 2 daughters. And to name the books, The 7 Secrets of the Universe, Beautiful Thoughts, and she's co-authored also A to Z Spiritual Literacy, Living as an Art. I'm sure we'll be looking at, after we finish this series of values, we are planning to look at the arts, the celestial arts, which we will need her help for that. And the last one being Return to Source, the God Experience. So as we speak, she currently coordinates the activities of the Brahma Kumaris in Halifax and the Atlantic region of Canada. And as always, a few lines on sensitivity and related to her. So in this world where people are intrinsically hypersensitive and towards each other's needs a bit indifferent and insensitive, Sister Judy comes up with methods of how to become sensitive so that our relations bloom and we become more positive. Weaknesses and vices have indeed held us so very captive. We want to escape their influence and run like a fugitive, because now we know that the silence world is our true motive. So let's travel there with the supreme remembrance as our locomotive, so that we become worthy of our position in golden age, which is still tentative, and impart this world the treatment of Raj Yoga, which then indeed becomes palliative. So with this, over to Sister Judy. Thank you so much.
Om Shanti Manoj Bhai. Locomotive. That was a good stretch. I like that. Hello, everyone. Well done. Well done. Hello. Nice to see some familiar faces. I know I'm not seeing everybody, but I'm seeing a lot. Oh, that's great. Hello, Claudia Ben, Anu. Nice to see you. And who else have we got? I see Mireille. I see some of my Canadian friends here. Oh, yeah. Good to see all of you. So I have pinned you, so I can't see myself, which is great. And I will share a couple of slides, but thank you, Manoj, and thank you, Claudia, and thank you, Anuben, and thank you, the whole team and all the translators that have kept this thread going for so long. Who knew we had this many values and virtues and qualities? It's really remarkable, actually. I feel really proud of all of you, and I feel really proud that it's kept going for all of us. I know it started in COVID, but it kept going because it had value, pardon the pun. You know, it kept going because it had value. So congratulations to all of you. I mean, you're now on hour 3 of sensitivity. So how much more could we say? So we'll just be silent for an hour and you're going to catch my thoughts, okay? Actually, I did listen to Amanda's talk, which I found quite wonderful. And I listened to some of the workshop, not all. It's still Bogue and family time breakfast here in Halifax. So I stepped away to listen in for a little bit, and then I went back to say goodbye to everybody. So I did catch a little bit, and I can see that you've really gone quite deeply and quite well into the sensitivity to the feelings of others and the needs of others and the concerns of others. And in a way, we really need this to harmonize at this point. You know, if we're not sensitive to the vibe, Baba's vibe, everyone's pure vibe, the vibe of the golden age that's pulling us, you know, if we're not sensitive to a higher vibe, we're going to continue to trudge along, to really drag along at a lower vibration. So this sensitivity is really important right now, I feel, in our world. So lovely that we've got 3 hours with it. So I thought I should slow down. I'm watching Mireille's face to see if I'm going too fast. I know, I know. Slow down. I know. I get excited. All right. Okay. So here we go. So I thought I would explore another angle. I think it's the same angle. It's definitely sensitivity, but I like to come at it from a little bit of a different angle. And we're going to end up in the same place, I think. But I was thinking quite a bit about this topic, and I was thinking about how we are tuning in at this point to a very subtle vibration. And that subtle vibration is spirituality. It is a spiritual truth of all of us. And, you know, like a little tuning fork, you know, it's very, very subtle. And I know few people who can actually tune their instrument exactly to the tuning fork. You know, they get close, like if you've ever played the guitar or a piano, you know, you're turning the string, you're trying to get it exactly like the tuning fork, but it's actually very, very difficult. And most of our ears are not tuned to perfect pitch. And perfect pitch means completely accurate. If the tuning fork is a C, then that note in the air, I would be able to catch it and tune myself perfectly. Whether it's a voice and I'm singing a note, ah, and I'm slightly off because I can't quite get it to perfect pitch. You know, most of us at this time are not perfect pitch. Fair to say? I didn't do the research, but I think there are very few. There's a small minority of people in the world who sing, who are musicians, who do have perfect pitch. So I feel like sensitivity is actually the quality that helps us tune in to perfect pitch. So I can tune in to the highest vibration. But I think it's really just a core quality. It's my natural capacity as a soul, because I am a being of energy. I am a being that vibrates. I have a frequency. I have a note, my note. You know, you each have your notes. And we're tuning into the supreme note, right? We're trying to tune into that. So it's just my natural capacity to perceive. We could say to catch, to discern, to pick up. All of these would be synonyms, would be the same idea. But it's just my natural capacity to perceive. Now, Amanda talked about perceiving through the sense organs, and I would like to explore that with you because it's usually the sense organs that are perceiving. But actually, if you think about perception, the eyes see things, the physical eyes see things, but the soul observes. It is the soul that picks up something from all that has been seen. I see a million things every day, but I don't pick up all of them. I don't catch all of them. I don't perceive all of them. Or if I'm perceiving many of them, I can't manage all of them. So I focus my attention. to what I can. There's just a natural capacity of the soul. So I thought I would do a little quiz with you and see how you're picking up power, your sensitivity power is. So here we go. I'm just going to share a message with you, and I'm going to ask you what you perceive. So here's the message. I'm really happy to be with you today. Shall I do it again? See what you perceived. Okay, so here we go. Pay attention. I'm really happy to be with you today.
Really, it's opposite. You're not happy at all.
You are perceiving the opposite, but on what basis are you perceiving that?
The body language, yeah.
The body language,
Expression.
the intonation,
Yeah.
the expression. Expressions. Thank you, Rochelle. Okay, so I'm not.
Tone of voice. Maybe.
Tone of voice, very nice. Yes, the voice. Okay, we all have different clues, and those who aren't seeing me, maybe on the phone, then the tone of voice would be primary, right? If you're seeing me, the body language, I can't even make eye contact because I'm telling a lie. So if I make eye contact, you'll know. So, yeah, everything we communicate all day as human beings comes through three main dimensions. We, as spiritual students, have something much more subtle. We can catch vibrations. But every day, in the way we communicate with each other, we're using these three main dimensions, right? We're using our words, we're using our body language, and we're using our tone of voice, or they call them nonverbals, because sometimes it's not a sound, it's more of a gap, a great long gap. I'm really happy to be here today. Like it's the gap, it's the tone, it's the gap, it's the all of that, right? We're using this. What percentage of each of these three, when we are trying to perceive, when we are trying to be sensitive and pick up an accuracy of a message, like the tuning fork, when I'm trying to pick up the accurate message from another person, how important, which of these is the most important? The words, the body language, or the nonverbals? I'm really happy to be here today. Which was the most important in that?
Body language.
Body language. Yeah. Oh, I'm seeing chat box here. Let me see if I can see the sarcasm. That's great. The tone. Yeah, the nonverbal.
The body language.
Yeah, the body language. Lovely. Okay. I'm nervous to put up my chat box because I think it becomes a black box on your screen, doesn't it? If I read the chat box. No, you can't see. Oh, perfect. Okay, great. So I can keep my chat box open and see what you're saying. Thank you. Okay, so typically it looks like this. Words are about 7%. Very little of what we communicate with each other is through our words. Body language is 55%. At least I chose good words. Thank you, Rina. Yeah, the words are very small. In fact, my words contradicted my body language and my tone of voice, correct? So the nonverbals, which is tone and everything, are 38%. I hope my math is accurate there. But it's like that. Body language, very important. Nonverbals, second important. Words, very little. Now, what's interesting is in the Western world, we live in the cultures that are known as low context cultures. So the lowest context culture in the world is Swiss German. So what that means is the way they communicate, the way they speak to each other, the way they understand each other is entirely based on words. They say what they mean, and they only mean it if they say it. Okay? No context. Whereas, let's say Vietnam, Indonesia, Southeast Asia is very strong. India is closer to the other side, quite a bit closer, are known as high context cultures. So in a high context culture, the words in particular have to be understood in context. Only in context does it make any sense. So I will use Indonesia where I lived, and I know the language there a little. In Indonesia, they don't even have a verb tense. So when you say, they don't have past, present, future in their language. So when you say, saya pergi ke Togo, I go to store. You say the same thing if you went, if you're going, or if you're there. So the only way you can understand saya pergi ke Togo, I go to store, I go store, I go store, I go store. The only way you can understand, was I at the store like just now, is if I have a grocery bag full of food in my hands. Or I'm going to the store, I have an empty bag and my wallet. And I'm getting in my car. So high context means we have to understand somebody in the context, the meaning of what they're saying in context. I believe this is true. So you can imagine the intercultural difficulties between a low context culture, which relies entirely on words, and a high context, which is all about the context gives the meaning, right? Very difficult to understand each other. I thought you meant this. I didn't understand because I read the context differently, right? So even though words are very small, context is usually pretty big, but most important of all of these, and spiritual students have this, is we pick up vibration. And this is what sensitivity helps us with. Beyond the body language, beyond the words, beyond the nonverbals, is the vibrations we can pick up from someone, because people can be very good at saying, I'm really happy to be here today. And something will just feel just slightly off. And we trust that. We trust that if we're paying attention, right? Because we're picking up vibrations. So very important very important with sensitivity that I know where to look to understand what someone else is trying to convey.
Namaste. Nanu is saying, Aviji, namaste.
We got the context there. Someone at home needs to talk to him. No problem. Okay. Okay. But you know what I find interesting about this sensitivity thing? It is just a capacity of the soul to pick up. We can pick up anything, anywhere. But this capacity can be used either by ego or by the soul and God. So who's using my natural capacity of sensitivity is a question I pose to all of us, because Amanda talked last week, and I know when we think of sensitivity, we often tend to think, and I tried to put a touch me not plant, but I didn't have one. So this is a pointy plant over here on the ego side. When ego is using my sensitivity, I become either highly easily hurt, or I become extremely defensive. If my sensitivity is being used by ego, right? If it's being used by the soul and God, it's another story. It's a very nice story. But I want to explore the ego side first. So given that this is just the capacity of the soul, who's using it determines whether it becomes a value or not. Okay, so I have a quiz for you. I have taken a list of indicators of ego. And I've taken this list from the brilliant work of Spark in the Brahma Kumaris, who have done a project they called Fixing My Stage in the Golden Age. And it's a project I dedicated a couple of years to studying and doing programs about around the world. Because it was based on, it's quite sensitive actually. It's really requires subtle awareness to discern what level of effort am I making in my spiritual journey right now. And they created a set of tools to help us discern, to help us pick up, to really be sensitive to where I'm at in my own spiritual journey. And one of the tools was a short list of 7 questions to check to see to what extent is ego using you, the soul. To what extent is ego still present in your experience? So I'm going to read you these 7 questions. And I mean, you can write the questions down. I'm happy to take a picture of them or put them in the chat box if you want, because actually don't write the question down because it won't be as effective. I will give them to you. What I really like you to do is just see what happens inside of you when you hear the question, because you'll know instantly. There'll be an instant response inside of you and you'll go, oh, yes, that's still there. And you'll cha-ching, cha-ching, you'll see all the situations where, yes, that's still there or not. But I'm happy to share the questions with you after, just so that you can, and I'll read them again after. So why don't we do this twice? I'll read it once. If you can just sort of close your eyes and be with yourself and just see what comes up. And then I'll read it again so you could write the question. Fair? Okay, so here we go. And we're doing this to discern who's using my sensitivity, this natural capacity of the soul. Who's using it right now? Is ego using it? Okay, first question. So we're thinking about a variety of situations. So here's a situation. How do you feel and how do you behave if and when someone else takes credit for the work you've done? This happens. Maybe not all the time, but surely it's happened to you at some point. So how do you feel if someone takes credit for what you've done? It's just a quick checking. There's no right, wrong answer. This is just for you to see how ego might be using sensitivity still. Yeah. Okay. Second question. How do you feel and how do you behave if, when someone laughs at your ideas? Okay. Next one. How do you feel? Thank you, Olga. How do you feel and how do you behave when you share about any service or any kind of collective work that you've done? And maybe if we can not share in the chat box just now so that everybody can just sort of be with their own thoughts just for now, because this is a self-check right now, okay? So when you're sharing the work that your team has done, or maybe the service that you've been involved in, how do you feel and behave when you share news of that work or of that project or of that service? Who do you give the credit to? Okay. Next one. How do you feel? How do you behave? Oh, sorry, last one again. Okay, so if you're sharing service news or project work that you've been involved in, who do you give the credit to? So some of us never take any credit for anything. We're always giving it to others. So-and-so did this, so-and-so did that. And some of us are more inclined to say, here's my project, here's what I've done, and not so much mention the team or others. So it's just checking yourself on that one. Next one, when you are praised, what happens inside of you? Do you immediately reject it? Say, no, that wasn't me. That was God. It was God. You don't say thank you to me. Do you do that, which is false humility, which is ego? Or do you graciously say, thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. And in your mind, you say, I thank you, God. Thank you, God. That was good. So when you're being praised, what awareness do you maintain? Do you maintain the awareness of an instrument? Okay, 3 more. When I'm in a group of others who are lacking in some way, so they're maybe lots of weaknesses, maybe they're not doing things right. How do you feel? How do you behave? Okay, 2 more. Oh, if someone is presenting something in our morning class, we have somebody who reads the class every morning, but anywhere, when the teacher is speaking or the teacher saying, and you find that the way they're reading it isn't right, or you've got an idea that you think will really add, what do you do? Do you jump in to add, or do you wait patiently until asked? Okay, and 1 more. And don't worry, we're not going to share our results on this. This is just a little self-check, okay? Because it's a continuum. We still all have ego in us, of course. But the question is, who's using my sensitivity, right? The last one. If I'm not offered an opportunity and somebody else I consider less qualified is given a chance, how do I feel? Okay. All right, Manoj, how'd you do? I'm kidding. You don't have to share your answers. Yes, I will send you the photos of the questions. No problem. And do you want me to read them again, or it might be better just to photo them? Hey, yeah, I'm just going to send them now into the chat box. Okay, so the reason we did that, and maybe any reflections doing that, because the whole reason for that was just to check who's using this natural capacity of the soul, which is to be sensitive, to pick up things, right? If ego's using it, then what I will pick up is disregard, disrespect. I will pick up faults, weaknesses, flaws. I will pick up those things if my sensitivity is being used by ego. And yes, I could certainly give the source, the spark source. I might have to send it. That's a big document and I can't access it now, but I could send it certainly to Anu or Manoj or whoever would like that resource. It's quite a wonderful resource. Yeah. Okay. Great. So if ego is using this sensitivity, then we know what that looks like. We know what that looks like, basically. But I want the soul and God. So we have this practice here. And the practice is, I know that I, the soul, throughout the day, am picking up a lot of vibrations from the world, from other people. And I can't, much more than I'm able to process or even interpret accurately. And this is where our spiritual knowledge is so helpful for us. It helps us interpret what I'm picking up. Because the sensitivity is always picking up. It's just what I am. I'm a constant antenna. I'm picking up vibrations all the time. But what do I do with those vibrations? I need to make sense of them. right? So that's where this knowledge helps us, spiritual knowledge. But most importantly, we're going to start, before we interpret all of that, we're going to start, because it's data or data. That's all it is. I'm picking up stuff. We're going to start with this practice of filtering. And what we do here in Raj Yoga, in the Brahma Kumaris world, is we just learn to filter. We learn to filter what we're picking up. And what we filter is we focus. The sieve is so fine that we are focusing our selective attention. We train ourselves to be sensitive to the beautiful, the positive of life, of situations, and the virtues in others. So this is a training program we're in. And only when I am training myself like this does sensitivity become a virtue or a value. When I become sensitive to the positive and the beautiful in life, and the positive and the beautiful in others. Does that make sense? So it's who's using that natural capacity of the soul. When I'm using it with this practice of a filter, and that'll be the soul using it. I'll get there in a minute. But when I'm using it for the good, in other words, this natural capacity, then it becomes a value. It becomes a virtue. And I become sensitive to the positive and the beautiful in life. Otherwise, I will be sensitive to the negative, to the disregard, to the insults, to the blame. And that's not a value, is it? That's not a virtue at all. So let's just think for a moment about our own level of sensitivity. Can I perceive the beauty in others? And to what extent? And then especially in those I'm having trouble with, those with whom I have some kind of karmic account. Can I still perceive their beauty? Can I still perceive their virtues? This is me, the soul, using my capacity to be sensitive in a positive way. This is our training and our practice, right? So you can think of those people you know. Sometimes the ones we're least able to perceive, to pick up, to be sensitive to the beauty in are ourselves, actually. Sometimes we are less sensitive to our own beauty, and we easily see someone else's virtues. So turning that sensitivity inwards to the self is also very important, so I can perceive the beauty in me. In particular, though, it has to be a practice every day, or it gets rusty. And in the moments when I need it, it's not there. So am I practicing seeing virtues all the time? That's our practice. Can I perceive, can I pick up, am I sensitive to the cries of those in sorrow? We hear this often. We heard it this morning. We heard it yesterday. The collective unconscious is weeping. The collective unconscious is crying out. Can I pick that up? And does it elicit a compassion response in me rather than a fear response or a sorrow response? Again, if ego's using it, my capacity to be sensitive, then I will feel disheartened, hopeless, angry, frustrated with the state of the world. If the soul or God is using this quality of sensitivity, then I will feel compassion. I will be able to pick up the cries of sorrow, but I will feel compassion inside. Can I discern my own pure intention? Am I sensitive to, in and amongst all the mixed feelings inside of me, can I pick up? Am I sensitive to my own pure intention? And can I feel the pure intention in someone else? This is part of our training to look for the pure intention, even if it's all mixed up with a bunch of other impure intentions when I'm with somebody. Am I sensitive to, am I tuning my fork into their pure intention? Because there's always a pure intention there behind the impure intentions, right? So somebody might be coming at me in a very ego-filled way, but I can see what they're really looking for is respect. And it's not that this project has to happen this way, that, what they're really calling for. And that's a pure intention. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So can I feel that? Am I sensitive to that? Can I discern? Can I tell? Am I sensitive to when I'm on target with my own purpose? Can I tell when I'm on track, off track? Again, tuning fork. If I'm trying to tune my instrument, me, the soul, to that higher vibration, can I tell when I'm not on? So I'm playing a C chord on the guitar, and I think it's perfectly matched with the tuning fork, and it is so flat. And everyone else is crying to listen to me play because it is not pleasant, but I can't tell. Those of us that are tone deaf live that experience, so they tend not to sing, unfortunately, still. But anyways, can I tell when I'm on track with my purpose or not? That's a sensitivity issue. And how do I know what is true? This is where sensitivity is really valuable to us, as I can tell when something is true. So think for a moment, how can you tell? How do you know when something's true?
You feel right. There's a feeling, maybe.
There's a feeling. You feel right. And what is that feeling? So what does right mean?
Feeling calm or content,
Uh-huh.
satisfied about a thing. If there
Okay.
are words.
That's nice, Anu. So it doesn't create discord inside or distress or any turbulence. That's lovely description. Yeah. Untruths do to create a dissonance of some sort, don't they? Yeah, that's nice. Anyone else? How do you know when something's true?
The vibrations plays a very good role on that.
Vibrations play. Yeah. We feel is aligned with Baba's teachings. Yeah, there's no doubt. I'm reading the chat box now. Thank you, everyone. We feel proud. Nice. Oh, yeah. Look, somebody. Oh, gosh, Linda. Rena did that, wrote down all the questions. Isn't that brilliant? Thank you, dear. Now I don't have to send it. Thank you. Okay. So I want to do another little quiz with you. And I'm going to give you word pairs. And I'm going to ask you to pick of the two words, which one is the highest vibration word? Okay, so ready? Here we go. First one, beautiful or pretty? Which is the highest vibration? Okay, I'm going to read the chat. Beautiful. Others? Beautiful. Okay. And here's the real question. Why? Why do you say beautiful has the highest vibration?
Because it's beautiful.
Sorry.
Beautiful goes for like vibration, the sense of other people as well. Pretty is kind of connected with just the physical beauty. That's how I see it.
Nice. Okay. So beautiful is deeper, maybe, and it can apply to non-physical, whereas pretty tends to be physical. Lovely. Okay, here's another one. Praising or flattering? Which is the higher vibration word?
Praising.
Praising. And again, tricky. Why? Why do you pick praising? Why is that a higher vibe?
Intentions are intention is to appreciate somebody.
Lovely. Lovely. I mean, these are just letters on a page. They're just words, and yet you can feel the frequency in it, right? This is using sensitivity to discern a vibration, right? So even in the words we use, you could say, we all know flattering. That's very different than praising. So the intention there. Okay, a couple more. Let's see. We're actually exercising your intellect, because it's the intellect that's the tuning fork that picks up, right? So which is a higher vibration, blunt or candid? Easy, no?
Candid.
Candid. And why?
Blunt is very sharp, cutting off someone. Candid
Yeah.
is more of clarity. Yeah.
Blunt
Yeah.
can be hurtful as well sometimes.
Exactly. So blunt has got no softening to it. Candid is honest, but it feels, what's the word? Genuine, sincere.
Natural.
Yeah, natural. So there's a purity in it, right? Yeah, lovely. Impulsive or spontaneous?
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
And
Spontaneous.
why?
Because impulsive has a little bit of negative touch to it. Spontaneity is more natural and pure.
Right. So impulsive could be without self-control, right? Who would you rather be with, in a dark road late at night trying to get home on time? A friend who's impulsive or spontaneous? Spontaneous, right? Yeah. Yeah. Someone who's not going to get you in danger. Correct. Okay. All right. Determined or stubborn? Determined.
Determined.
Why?
Because stubbornness again has a negative vibes to it. Determination has a positivity to it. Okay,
Yeah.
it can take time. You don't rush things.
Yeah.
In stubbornness,
stubborn.
sometimes people rush things and spoil it.
Right. So stubborn's got some ego in it, right? And determined is like stamina, like a drive or a positivity of the soul. Okay, I'm just going to do maybe two more. Here we go. Striving or driven?
Striving.
Driven.
I think driven.
Striving.
Okay.
It's okay. Some say driven. Okay, why striving? This is tricky, but
You
you're
are
using your
aspiring.
sensitivity. You're aspiring to something. Striving is aspiring, correct. And what is driven? Driven has got
You're
compulsion,
forced.
right? It's got compulsion. It's like a force in it. Yeah. And again, it can be context dependent. On a context you might be in, driven might be a really good thing, but compared to striving, yeah, of the two, it would be striving. Okay, one last one. Formal or civil?
Formal.
Civil, formal. Civil, formal. We got different ideas here. Okay. And those who pick civil, why?
BK language, civilized.
Civilized, yeah.
Civil
And
war.
formal can be like a little strict, right?
Mm.
Whereas civil is high quality character, civilization. Yeah. Okay, why did we do all of these words? Why would we explore these words like this?
To check our sensitivities.
To check your sensitivity. And guess what? We all did really well, didn't we? We all, we could, a couple of them, but we all did really well. But the most important thing is that we stopped to then ask ourselves why. And did you notice how every one of us at that moment were stumped? Not sure. We had to think because it wasn't clear to us. Why? Because this sensitivity is the capacity, but who's using it? When the soul uses it, then the soul stops and reflects and makes meaning. So then you made meeting, because it's deeper. Beauty is deeper than pretty. Candid is more pure, more innocent than blunt, right? This is how sensitivity, when used by the soul, is incredibly empowering, incredibly useful. So that's why we did that. And because truth is a vibration that resonates more deeply than facts. So our sense organs pick up facts, but the soul picks up the vibration of truth. Sensitivity helps us. Sensitivity is what we're using to pick up the vibration of truth in anything, in everything, in everyone, in every situation. It's a vibration that resonates with the truth in me. And God's vibration is the highest vibration, and only using the soul's capacity to be sensitive can I pick up God's highest vibration. When I'm connected to God, I become sensitive to the positive and the pure. That's why I have to be connected to God for this capacity of sensitivity to be used in the right way, to be used to detect, to pick up, to catch only that which is positive and pure. And when I'm connected to my core, so the depth of the ocean inside of me, when I'm connected to my core, I activate the sensitivity in me. So between me, the core of me, and God's highest vibration, those two resonate together. And when I am, we call it soul conscious, but when I'm connected to that, and I'm connected to God, then sensitivity is being used to catch the pure and the positive. So then I become sensitive to the experience of these beautiful qualities inside myself as me, inside everyone else as well. And then I get to enjoy the soul, the subtle experience of these qualities that underpins everything in life. So sensitivity helps me experience myself as the soul, the subtle experience of all the beautiful qualities, pure and positive qualities in me, in every situation, even in this old, sometimes ugly world. There are always subtle, beautiful things in every situation. Sensitivity helps me find them, see them, catch them, pick them up, vibrate with them, which gives them energy to come alive. Somebody asked about the sense organs. I begin to use my soul capacity of sensitivity to use my organs in a pure way. And I thought this would be kind of a fun little exercise. So let's just play with this. We have 5 sense organs, right? We've got touch, we've got sight, we've got taste, we've got smell, we've got sound, right? We've got all the 5 sense organs. What if we were using the sensitivity in the soul? What if we were using this capacity to use our sense organs in a different way? So for instance, what if I started using my smell to think for a moment, what does happiness smell like? There'll be some rewiring happening in your brain as we do this, because it's like me. So take a moment and just think about that. What would happiness smell like? Red roses. I thought of cinnamon buns. That's great. Red roses is great. Because my granny used to make me cinnamon buns, so it made me happy. So there's memories associated. Okay, red. So, but what does happiness smell like? Imagine using each of our 5 sense organs, but driven by the soul qualities. Another way to train our sense organs, actually, to be sensitive to the pure and the positive. So I use them in the right way. Fragrance, lovely, Nanda. Okay, so let's play with another one. What does love look like? I mean, that's maybe a little easier. We see a hug, or we see a kindness, or we see, somebody giving something to somebody, generosity. Maybe what does love look like? Looks like a sunset. Lovely, Joelle. So I'm using my eyes to see love in the world, but then I'm also using my eyes to express love, right? So I'm using my sense organs in a much more sensitive way. Right? What does peace, pardon the pun with the peas here, what does peace taste like? I don't mean they taste like peas. Somehow this picture just went there. But anyways, what does peace taste like? Love is drishti from Baba. Lovely, Reina. What does peace taste like? Oh, that's an interesting one. Again, the brain's rewiring, trying to figure this out. What does it taste like?
Good digestion.
Good vibration. Totally, says Amit.
Digestion.
Good digestion. Thank you. Gulab jamun is what peace tastes like. That's great. Or it tastes sweet. Or water. Lovely. Yeah, lovely. Water. Peace, cool water. That's beautiful. Yeah, for me, you know what? It would be hot water. It would be a hot cup of tea. Would be peace. That's very nice. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Okay. And the last, oh, and I get two more. What does purity smell like? Clothes that have just come in off the clothesline from outside. So what does purity smell like? We're using our sense organs.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Manoj. Sandalwood paste. Oh, that's nice for peace. Yeah. Does purity smell like? The smell of earth after a first rain. That's beautiful. Sandalwood. Purity smells like sandalwood. Yes, I would associate it with that also. Very nice. Okay. And one
Baby's
last.
powder.
Baby powder. Good one. That's a good one. Very good. Okay. And what does bliss sound like?
Temple bell.
A temple bell. I had thought a bell as well. Yes. Bliss sounds like a temple bell. It could sound like the ocean waves, the rhythmic, the ocean waves, the meditation bowl, the Tibetan bowl. Lovely. That's what bliss sounds like.
Wind
Sometimes
in the trees.
the wind in the trees. That's a good one. Someone said the other day, when babies kind of gurgle when they're happy, like that. And someone said a cat, when a cat mews, like when they're very, very deeply content, they make that sound, whatever that is. Okay, here we go. Fireworks. Okay. So I just kind of playing around with, could we use our sense organs to be sensitive in a different way? Just playing. You feel the neural networks going a little crazy, but it was good, wasn't it? We did it. All of us did it. Very nice. Okay. So the soul itself is picking up vibrations, but the sense organs. Oh, there's one more. What is the sensation of power? What does it feel like? So if you're touching something, what would you touch? So it's not inside of me. What does power feel like? That would be spiritually. But what's the sensation when you touch power? A pure, deep breath, says Joelle. That's nice. I think of touching a really strong tree that's been standing. It feels like power. Spider-Man. Great. Okay, any others? Sunlight on your skin feels like power. That's nice. Okay, so sensitivity guides me on my journey to my destination of being whole. So those were some of my thoughts about me and God. We hung out a while and we talked about it, and this is what came into the intellect, was this beautiful, amazing capacity of the soul, that is sensitivity. And then who's using it? And how can I be using sensitivity in the right way so it actually becomes a value? It becomes valuable to me, and it becomes like a virtue. And then using this filter, the practice of filtering, I'm only seeing the pure and the positive. And connecting to God, I'm only catching the highest vibrations. But I know I can. We all know that we're very sensitive beings. And so I just have to watch and make sure that the 7 questions of ego are not using this natural capacity of the soul, but it's me and God that are using sensitivity so that I can be a sensitive soul in the right way, in a way that's benevolent. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, even that has a good vibration, the word. Well, thank you so much for taking us so creatively into really experiencing the sensitivity through the words which you mentioned and having the 5 sense organs, the rewiring of the brain. Fantastic. I would request Sister Claudia now to please propose the vote of thanks. Over to you. Thank you.
Oh, Shanti, it was so nice to hear you, Judy, and we feel like excited too, just by seeing the way how you speak. So although sensitivity makes easier too, because you explain so nice way, and we pick up so many different points like you showed today. How do I discern about my own pure intention? So, and also the intentions of others. Also, the point that I like it is sense organs is pick up facts, and the soul picks up the truth. I quite like that point. The sense organs. So we sense organs when we are talking just about the fact, that means sense organs is through the ego is working there. But if we are with the soul, then we pick up the truth. Yeah. And then also, I like that point when I'm connected to my core, I activate sensitivity. So that means we have to really do this homework to connect to the core. So I think you explain deep things in a very easy way, because you are always easy. That's why we like to be around you.
Thank you, Claudia.
Yeah.
That's
So
very
it's so
sweet.
nice. So nice to be with you. And so thank you for being with us today. It was very
Yeah.
special. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia Ben. So nice to see you and hear your voice as well. And yeah, thank you, Manoj. Bye. It's delightful to be here. I enjoy being here. So thank you for the
So
invitation.
much. We are looking forward for the Arts of Life series. We'll speak about that later sometime.
Oh,
And you'll be a regular person on that. Because it's your invention, I must say. You had told me when I was in Halifax that we should do
Yes.
that as well. Fine, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so before I forget, I'll just ask Sister Anu to please do the announcements, quickly take the photograph as well, and then the closing meditation. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, amazing experience. Thank you, Sister Judy. We get so much more than what we can take, and we have gotten deeper insight. Let me just quickly share the upcoming programs. So the next episode would be episode number 104 on innocence, in Hindi, Bholapan. So I'm sure we are all looking forward to it. And it's happening after 1 week, Saturday, 7th of December, 7 a.m. West Coast time. That is, 8:30 p.m. India time. So time has changed. Sorry about the typo. And for that, we'll have our senior sister Sudha Didi from Moscow, Russia. She is the general director of Brahma Kumaris of Moscow in Russia. So please mark your calendar and join us then. And also we'll have silence retreat on innocence on 8th of December, 9 a.m. India time. That is 7:30 p.m. for West Coast, West Canada, and afternoon for Europe. So we'll welcome everybody who would like to join. Please note that it is based on the Brahma Kumaris teaching. So but if you are not a Brahma Kumari student, you may find something new, but it would give a good experience. So we welcome you to join us to experience the silence. And the workshop on innocence will be after 2 weeks. Again, sorry, it is Saturday, 14th December. So we are going back to our regular day, that is Saturday, same time as today. So please note and join us then. This is our beautiful calendar. So that explains our programs. We'll be letting you know as the date comes closer. And check us out on our websites. That's vihasa.in and vancouver.brahmakumaris.ca. And all the videos, including today's, you can find on our YouTube channels as well as the playlists. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And we'll have a photo with the speaker to mark this moment memorable that we took. Sensitivity, truly pure sensitivity when the soul is using it. Yeah. If you want to be in the photo, please. There you go. Thank you. Over to you, Manoj.
Okay, so over to Sister Judy for the closing meditation on sensitivity. Over to you.
Om Shanti, everyone. I think we now understand what sensitivity is, so I'll ask you just to join me. You may want to close your eyes because you've been on screen so long, or you can look at a picture nearby. But I invite you just to come inside yourself. We know how to do this, behind the eyes, to that point of energy that is the vibrating energy of the self. It's not inert. It's not dead. It's very alive and active, energetic. And this is the being that I am, the soul. It's my very nature to be sensitive. I can pick up vibrations from a distance. I can pick up the most subtle vibration, just the vibration of peace inside of me. And I can pick up the vibration of God, the highest vibration, the most subtle vibration in the universe. And I feel that energy now touching me, the soul. My sensitivity awakens, but it purifies and it focuses so that I now only see the beautiful, the uplifting, the pure, the positive in myself and everyone in my world, including these beautiful souls on the screen with us here today. So I take this capacity of sensitivity and I let God use it. And I, the soul, use it for benefit. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much once again for your fantastic creative expression and your beautiful insights. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Judy. Thank you, everyone. See you soon again. Bye now.